Police body cam video out of Birmingham, Alabama shows the melee after a band director was tased and arrested after a recent high school football game. It happened when both of the school's bands continued to play music after the game ended. Police say they asked the bands to stop, but one band, led by director Mims, kept on playing, and that's when things turned ugly. Mims says that he was tased by police, he was taken to the hospital and then arrested. Mims maintains he did nothing wrong here. He is asking for the charges against him to be dropped and for the officers involved to be disciplined. We are joined now by Johnny Mims and his attorney, Wandalyn Govan. Thank you both for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having us.
And Johnny, can we start with you? Can you explain the events from your perspective? Why did the bands keep playing, and what happened after police asked you to stop?
Okay, both bands, the directors got together towards the end of the game. It was agreed upon that the bands would play 2 or 3 songs. We agreed on that we played 3 songs at the very end of the game. This part of the game is known as like the fifth quarter. So this is something customary for bands to perform after the game. We would usually trade songs between the 2 groups, just as a sportsmanship between the bands on things that we've worked on throughout the week. So that was really the reason why we were still playing. It was definitely agreed upon. And so those accounts that you see in the video was just us again, just doing what we agreed on, and that was also explained to the officers.
Were you warned that things would escalate in this way, or that you would be tased?
Oh, no, ma'am. Of course, I think for any person, if you were warned that there was some type of emergency or there was something that needed to that was happening that would need to for it to be for it to cause our groups to have to stop playing, of course that'd have been something that worked on, and of course that's a logistical thing. So the reason why we were playing, because logistically that was something that was agreed on beforehand, and so if we'd have knew all the factors that end up happening at the very end of the game, of course other actions would have been taken. But still, to this day, there's no reason why I was tased in this situation. It was not something warranted. There's something we weren't causing any damage, or we were not obstructing anything. So I think that the actions were excessive and definitely not warranted.
And Johnny, the video is hard to watch. I mean, can I ask, were the police aware of the agreed upon number of songs that were going to be played? And at the point that they do arrive and they tell you to stop, why not just stop?
I can't speculate on if they were told beforehand. Again, as the visiting band director, all of the responsibility of coordination between the officials at the game and the concepts of how the game runs is on the home school. And so as a visiting band director, I was I was pretty much performing my duties as agreed upon. And so that's the reason why you've seen that. I know for most, it seems like it's very easy to just stop the band from playing, but remember, I had 145 students. Not only that, 130 of the students were in the stands, and then you had another portion of the students that were on the field. And so there's a certain coordination that must happen in between that. Also in the video, if you can see, there's officers in front of me obstructing my ability to even cut the band off. So if it was something that I needed to cut the band out, I still didn't have the opportunity to do that. And that's when you've seen in the video of me asking the officers to please move so that I can properly give the band direction on how to end the song.
Yeah, and Johnny, I get that there was a protocol set in place ahead of time. I guess I'm just wondering, at the point where the cops show up and it seems like things are starting to escalate, why not change the protocol and decide to stop the music? Again,
the communication between myself, the director, or if there's any infringement on that communication, it must come from the administrators of the 2 schools.
Okay.
So,
and sorry, with the time we have left, I do want to ask you, Wandalyn, can you elucidate for us some of the protocols for officers using tasers in Alabama? When are officers permitted to do so? And why do you think that this was not a justifiable case of using a taser?
Again, thank you for having me. This case just wasn't justifiable. It has to be something to the utmost extreme of behavior by a person to where the person cannot be contained, or there's a threat of someone's life or public safety.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.